In this video, you're going to see what we've done. I'll show you some of the grinding and the paper and the worms, and then what we're doing now, which is getting ready to tear down one of the piles and windrow it. And don't judge the equipment. It's old, might be antique, but she still works. You're also going to hear me talk about worms, give you some facts about worms, and tell you why worms are so important and why we pick worms. All right, everybody. What I'm standing on is a big pile of paper with dirt, obviously. Probably about 15 foot high and, I don't know, good ways long. So this mound is actually the other part, the other pile, and what we're going to do today is it's actually sitting on a concrete pad where the building used to be, so we're going to actually take this and windrow it, which is when you take it and stack it in about 3-foot rows and you line it out, and we're going to get this thing actively composting. The goal is to get all of this done in a little over a year. Charles Darwin is actually the first one to study worms. He discovered their importance and how essential they are, and basically said that farming, agriculture, nature, everything owes worms. In ancient Egypt, if you were to remove an earthworm, it was punishable by death. This is our worm bin. So what we've done is the pile is chewed up, is actually right there. And that's what we're putting in the worm bin. So when we started this, I don't know if you guys have gone back and looked at the other videos, but this was a lot shallower. And the idea behind that was we were actually going to see how quickly the worms went through the product. But what we found was the worms didn't have enough depth. They weren't happy. They weren't happy little worms. So what we want is happy little worms. They don't like light. They're going to dive down as soon as I bring them up in the light. The type of worm we have on hand is called the red wiggler. Insert shot of scientific name. There are different kind of worms. We chose this because it's excellent for composting. These worms are hermaphrodites. They have both male and female parts. It does take two worms. They kind of join up and then swap the sperm with the egg, make a cocoon, and then when that goes in the ground, it'll hatch. Now, when that hatches, it can have between 1 and 7 babies, which is awesome. A lot of people have asked me, why am I using worms? We don't want to take it to a landfill. It's about 100 semi-loads. There's a bunch of different numbers that people have said as far as what it would cost. The minimum number is $40,000. Basically, my goal and price point is if I can do this cheaper than $40,000, then I win. Why we're using the worms we're using is they're an excellent compost worm. And what they'll do is they'll eat off the top 3 inches, and they'll grab stuff and they'll eat it. And the worm poop will go to the bottom. We're going to design, we've seen it done on YouTube, we're going to design a bin that we can cut the bottom off, harvest those worm castings, and then actually make a business out of this. Worm castings is worm poop. Worm castings is just a real fancy way of saying worm poop. Worm castings will actually absorb that water and keep it in the ground so it's readily available for plants. Worms are essential, amazing, amazing creatures is what they do. And pound for pound, dollar for dollar, worm castings is about the best fertilizer you can buy. So right now it's fixing a problem with the potential of turning into a business.
America. I'm just kidding. Hey, we wanted to get all the windrows done today. However, we live in Ohio, and you know it's kind of like Florida. Just wait around. It'll rain, be cloudy. We just have no beaches. So due to the weather setback, it's all right. We just have to postpone the windrows. However, we're still going to upload the video, and you guys can still stay tuned to follow us on our progress.
So if you like what we're doing and thought it was kind of interesting or crazy, like, subscribe, hit the bell. That'll let you know whenever we release more content. If you want to know why I'm standing in front of 2 cows, hit subscribe. You'll find out later. Worms. When they bury,